I was approached by Jeff Kidda, photo editor at Arizona Highways, to do a year-long landscape project somewhere around Flagstaff, and Jeff and I came up with a lot of ideas, and we ended up at Bismarck Lake. I scouted a lot of different places, and it seemed to be the best location to offer the most change for this project, because we wanted to see a year in the life of a lake or an area in Flagstaff, or in and around Flagstaff. It's gonna be tricky today. My goal was minimum to do about every 2 weeks, every 10 days. A month is 30 days, so I'd try to go 2 to 3 times a month. Sometimes if there was storms or rain, I would try to go as soon as I can to get right in the middle of a snowstorm or a thunderstorm, because I wanted to see it in the pretty conditions and the extreme conditions. So on an average, I would say 3 times a month. 2 to 3 was the average, sometimes 4. Sometimes there wasn't a lot going on with the lake, but I would look up at the peaks and there's amazing clouds, and then a lot of times there wasn't a lot going on, and all of a sudden you start looking at the ground and finding details in the flowers, and I found frogs, I found all kinds of things I probably would have never noticed having just hiked up there on my own. But each time I came up, I wasn't sure what I was going to pull off, but my goal was always to get 2 or 3 frames that were good each time. But I seemed like I always had more. Going to the lake so many times over a year, there were certain objects that kept reoccurring, and I kept photographing them a lot. One was an old dead tree with that's just basically a rotten stump, and it's in the background of almost every photograph, and it was constantly changing, and we'd get snow, and it was just a beautiful tree too, and I actually climbed up it a lot and would shoot the lake from there. And another object that I kept photographing was this twisted log that was in the lake, and when the lake filled up it would move, but somehow it was always in the shot. Even on snowy days you might see a little bit of it, and it constantly was in different places, and sometimes I could see it floated or the wind, but then sometimes it was moved. I don't know if humans moved it, but it was in the shots a lot, and I enjoyed going back and seeing different things each time and how they had changed. I've never spent a year going back to the same place over and over again, and I think that was the most amazing part, is seeing the tank or lake or whatever, how it changed each time. Even you would show up 10 days later, it was different, and sometimes there was a shot that I maybe didn't quite get, and I thought, I'll go back and I know I can redo the shot the next time, or even I might even go back the next day to think I can redo it and get that shot I was looking for. But something changed. The weather was different. I could never repeat a photograph there. It was always different each time, so that was pretty amazing.